I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married.
Well, I run my ass off and I do everything for everybody in my life, like me, my kids, him. He goes to work and works enough. That's it. He works.
Her story is a cautionary tale of the inherent risk involved when you decide to become a stay at home mom, when you decide to become financially reliant on your partner. And I want to say, I know that for many families, there is no choice, right? Women are being forced out of the workforce due to the cost of childcare. Not everyone has the choice of whether or not they can remain in the workforce or not. But when a woman decides to become a stay at home parent or is forced to become a stay at home parent, there is inherent risk, right? She's sharing her experience of this toxic, awful marriage and her partner who is truly failing her and her children in so many ways. And oftentimes when women share this experience, people will say, well, why didn't you leave? How come you didn't leave? Why did you stick around? If it was so bad, you've been together for 12 years, why did you stay? And she shares that the reason she stayed is because she simply did not have the means to leave. She could not financially afford to leave, because this is what so many people find themselves in, right? Even if they do have a job, if they're going to leave, they need to pay for their own housing. They need to pay for childcare. They now need to do everything on their own financially. Or if they don't have a job, now they're in this place where they need to find a job. They need to find a job and housing and the money to be able to afford childcare so they can have the job. But without childcare, you can't get a job. And without a job, you can't get childcare. So what are they to do? Right? They don't have the means to leave. And there's this weird assumption that women can just leave and they'll have the family support or friend support or support of a community. And that's just not the case for so many women. And her story really is a cautionary tale, because when we enter into marriage, every time you enter into marriage as a woman, there's inherent risk involved, right? Marriage isn't always good for women. We know that women are the ones who are financially punished for having children, for being married. And so entering into marriage is just risky in general. But when you enter into marriage and then you become a stay-at-home parent, there's more risk involved financially, right? And it is really detrimental to women who are specifically in these toxic relationships because they can't get out. And that's a really, really difficult place to be. And so when women like this share their stories, I think it's important to heed their caution, right? Like understand what they're telling us, listen to them, and plan accordingly. If you are a stay-at-home parent, that is by no means the wrong choice. Like, I support anybody who wants to stay home with their children. I think that's amazing. But I do think there needs to be a level of financial security. You need to have access to your own money, your own savings. You need to be able to financially support yourself should you need to. I think it's really important to keep a foot in the door if you can with a career, if you ever had one, or if you think you might go back. That way you can re-enter the workforce to support you and your children. I think there are so many things to learn from stories like this. And this is not to discourage women from being stay-at-home parents. It's to equip you with the information you need to make sure that if ever you find yourself in a situation like this, you are able to support yourself and your children and put yourself in a place that is not toxic, right? And is good for you all. Because unfortunately, this woman has been in this relationship that is not only detrimental to her, but also to her children.